letting go. I was thinking about this all day. All these good sentences and all these good things come to mind. And I could sit here and I can tell you all these great lines and we can speak about individual things, but really letting go is going to come down to you. And what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to talk about certain things we can start letting go of and why we could let go of them. I'm not going to say should let go of them. I don't expect you to do any of this. This is what I do in my life. This is what I believe and perceive and receive, and I'm just sharing that with you. Letting go is a very kind of small term for something incredibly huge. Okay, so when we think of letting go, what is it we're letting go of? Well, me in particular, I literally mean all of it. Every single day now, every single day that I wake up, well, for a while now, but really very, yeah, in the last month or so, I have become, it's interesting, as strong as I think I am, or as disciplined, excuse me, as disciplined as I think I am in my beliefs, in my path, not my beliefs, they're very, I believe what I believe because I know what I know, right? So, in my path, each day I become more disciplined. And I keep on saying things to myself like, well, I really want to do this more. I want to start exercising more. I want to start doing this. And I don't rush these things. Remember we talked about the law of attraction the other day. I don't rush these things. I don't force these things. I know they're going to come into my life, so I let my life naturally unfold before me is the best way I can say it. I let life unfold before me, all right? So each day now that I wake up, I really do let go more and more and more. And I don't just mean letting go of hate and letting go of anger, letting go of the hurt in our past, letting go of temptation, letting go of greed, letting go of the pursuit for materialistic objects, letting go of 99.9% of the human perspective. I now am at a point where I'm starting to let go of memories. Memories. And not because I don't want to remember these things or because they're not significant or they're not great moments in my life, but because I experienced them. They resonated in my heart a certain way. I have either come to terms with them and embraced them with love, or I have surrendered them and forgiven them with love, forgiven myself and the person involved, right? If there was. So I can start to let go of a lot of childhood memories. And I start to think back to myself when I was in my, I have a picture, I'll post it, I'll share it one day. I'm about 29 years old, and my buddy Craig, my brother Craig, is getting married, and I was the best man at his wedding. And it's a great picture. I'm thin, I'm prime of my life, man, 29. And I look at that picture and I remember what was going on. I remember who I was, where I was, what I was doing. My son, my firstborn Kyle, was born. I remember all those things, and it was an amazing time. But I don't hold on to that. I don't hold on to that memory. I don't hold on to those emotional states of existence that I experienced back then because there's no reason to. I don't hold them in my head to where I am constantly reflecting on them and thinking back about them and thinking back about them because I've done that so many times already. There's no reason to. So what am I letting go of? I'm creating space. That space, that ability to start letting go of memories, letting go of thoughts, letting go of emotions, letting go of physical necessities that are not necessities, letting go of these things, that mental clarity, that space, that mental space allows you to be more calm, to be more still, be more silent. Always be more silent. To really, it allows you It allows you to hear within. When we can create space in our mind, when we can let go of unneeded memories, when we can process and forgive and embrace and let go of our past pain and experiences, joys and happiness, we can open our mind up for our higher awareness, for the divine frequencies to resonate more clearly in our minds. That space, that mental clarity allows the frequencies to come in without noise, without static, without chaos, without distraction. Without distraction. And that's why we want to let go. Because it's noise. It's background noise. We hold on to all these memories and experiences, right? We hold on to them, we reflect on them, we think about them, we literally, physically time travel to those moments of time consciously. We embrace, re-embrace that emotional state of existence. We bring it back into today. Now today is ruined. We are not experiencing today as it was meant to be because we are living in the light of a day of trauma that happened 20 years ago. We're letting that emotional state of existence now that is interfering with our life see and project into our future and distract and cause chaos. And in all this, in all these emotions, in reflecting on the past constantly, we are living in the thoughts and memories and actions and events of the day. Work and friends and social media and stoplights and grocery shopping and children and our friends and our projects and our hobbies and our hopes and our desires and our fears and our dreams. All of these things on a daily basis are like little tornadoes in our head. And we're standing in the middle there. Somewhere inside there is this little sheltered person, thing, that's hiding in the basement, waiting for the storm to clear, waiting for the storm to clear, waiting for the chaos to settle, waiting for the noise to stop. Everything is frequencies and light. The bookshelf behind me is made of light. It's held together by a frequency. The universe is a massive harmonic frequency, and within it are photons that assemble our reality, whether it's person or plastic or paper or tree or bird or duck or me or you. We stream our awareness into it. So why let our experience be dictated by the emotions that are created from these events? So if you were hurt in the past, what point does it serve today to reflect on it, to think about it, to constantly go back to it? Two, if you are in a relationship and it has to do with your current relationship, to continuously put your expectations and fears into your partner by continuously doing, can we talk for a minute? Can we talk for a minute? Can we talk for a minute? You know, I was thinking the other day about that time you X and X and blah, 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 blah. I was thinking about that time you did this to me the other day, and it still really hurts me that you did that. Well, the other person may be trying to live in a new light of love, but what you're doing is bringing them now into this. So why do we want to let go? Why do we want to let go? Because not only is holding on to the past and projecting into the future right now, interfering with living right now, you are projecting that emotional state of existence out and around you. And now the people in your life closest to you are going, what's the matter? Is there something wrong? Is there something on your mind? Is there something bothering you? No, everything's fine. No, seriously, what's wrong? You look like there's something wrong. I was thinking about that time, blah, 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 and all of a sudden this stuff comes up. But it's because you're not coming to terms with it. You're only looking at it at that point. Listen to what I'm saying. When you're reflecting on your life and you're looking at a moment in time, a traumatic experience in your life, a hurtful moment in your life, a joyous moment in your life, you don't just stop observing that moment when that emotion hits you. You don't just stop when that emotion hits you. So I'm thinking back to my childhood. I'm thinking back. I don't want to be depressing or anything like. So let's just think of something just low key. Stupid example, but we'll use it. I'm a Star Wars fan, right? You know, I was 8 years old when Star Wars came out, and as soon as Obi-Wan Kenobi went and turned on, handed Luke the lightsaber and turned it on, I was a Jedi since I was a kid, right? So anyway, I used to have a snow speeder, one of the toys, and my sister broke it when I was away once in California over the summer, and I came home and I was so upset. So we'll just use that traumatic experience, because it's so horrible. We don't need to talk about the things my mother and father and sister did other than that. So it was a broken toy. If I go back and I look at that right now, and I go back to that time and I consciously connect with that little boy, 12 years old, and I go into his room and I really see him trying to express, because I really was trying to express to my sister and her boyfriend, like, I wasn't trying to get mad and angry. I was going, I don't understand why you're taking this so just like it's nothing. You're looking at me and going, oh, big deal, it's just a toy. This is one of my favorite toys, and I cared for this, and because I was gone and you had to have a stupid party in the house when mom was away, you broke it with your drunk, idiot, drug addict friends, and now you're looking at me and saying, don't worry about it, it's no big deal? Don't worry about it, it's no big deal. You're not only shoving your expectations on me, you're pushing this insane, ignorant perspective on me as a child. This is what I'm thinking, right? So if I go back to that state right now and I pick up that emotion and I feel it right now, and I stop right there. I'm resonating in that emotion, that anger, that frustration now, 40 years later, right? Well, I'm not 55, but whatever, 38 years later, whatever it is. I'm resonating and I feel it instead, because that's what we do. We look back at our past. We look back at these moments and we stop at the moment of trauma. We stop at the moment of pain. I'm sorry, I see all this writing going on on my site, because this goes on my site a few days later. I broadcast this live on Instagram as well, and I see comments going. I don't interact with the comments because, again, they're distracting. If you're having a conversation amongst yourself, that's fine. I don't believe in chat rooms when they're doing this. And I also don't read the comments because I don't, you might be saying something that's great and it might be great advice and it might make me go, wow, that's amazing. But again, I just don't want to veer off and get distracted and things like that. And I also don't want to have to feel like I'm being pulled into anybody else's perspective. Not at this stage of the game, not at this point in my life. And so I never read the chat room. I really don't. I check the time in a little bit to make sure I'm under the hour and we're good to go. So what I was saying anyway is, if I stop, whether it was my mother being sexually abusive or abandoning, my father being bullying, my sister being bullying or physically abusive, if you stop, if it was an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend or a car accident, a broken toy, if you stop, if you go back to that moment and you stop at the moment that pain happened, that incident happened, and you go, oh God, I can't even think about it anymore. How many times have you said it? Oh, I don't even want to think about it anymore. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to relive it anymore. Why can't I let it go? And it's because you are only perceiving it and observing it up to the point of pain. We've got to see past that point of pain. You have to understand, in all of these instances of your life, your actions, the actions that were done against you, you and they have been doing this under a misguided perspective. We don't want to perceive and hold that pain and that grudge. We spoke about forgiveness a couple of weeks ago, how we truly have to forgive not only the person that was involved in this, but we have to forgive ourselves, because for all these years, you're looking back at these memories, you're looking back in these events, and you're holding someone else to blame. But every single other person who created these acts against us went through their own path, experienced their own pain, and at that point of their life, that's what their experiences made them out to be. Just because you weren't that way, we can't judge that person with that harshness and that cruelty and that hatred and bitterness, because then we're living in that light. If we're judging with hate and we're judging with harshness and we're looking at our past with bitterness and cruelty and an ugly projection, then we're living in that. And we have to let it go. We have to understand that every single person who commits an act of crime, who does something terrible, deep down inside somewhere there is a being that does not want to experience this, and they were not created for this. And I refuse to believe that some people are created just to be menaces and darkness. I believe that vessels, well, in my book, it's not that I don't believe, but I know vessels, a vehicle, can, in the point of conception or growing up, become damaged. And that damage could interfere with the higher awareness guiding it, and it could be a lost, disconnected vessel. There are a great number of things that could happen. Darkness, evil energy can infect and build up around a person so much that that person is now embracing darkness. But still, they are that same energy of awareness that you and I are. So when you think of your life today, when you wake up tomorrow morning, which tomorrow night we are going to have one of the most amazing experiences together as a group. We're going to visually see, we're going to connect, we're going to feel, we're going to understand. It's going to be an amazing thing. When you wake up tomorrow morning, do you want to be that person who has been living in fear, procrastination, depression, confusion, abandonment, lost, that stillness where you think you're the only person around who must be feeling this way? Like, could everybody really be feeling like this? Yes. Every single person always feels the same way and always does this. So we really, truly, I'll tell you what, not that I want to stop. If you really want to communicate with me, if there's something, and I don't know if this is a conversation amongst the chat room again, but if you really want to communicate with me, if you want to ask me questions, if you want some guidance, insight, if you want to collaborate, if you want me to come speak at your yoga studio, your hospital, your house, if you want me to host a meditation, any of that stuff, then please private message me. That's the best way to do it. Private message me on Instagram. Go to my website. The link is in my bio. Contact me through the contact. But I can't correspond and talk in the chat room. I'm sorry. I was a Drumeo instructor for 5 years. Drums live every Saturday. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, all around the world. There was a chat room, and I used to tell everybody, stop looking at the chat room. Stop looking at the chat room. Forget the chat room exists. You're here for a reason. Absorb the information. Don't worry about it. And I'm not telling you not to talk amongst yourselves. I'm just telling you my feelings are about these things. So, again, just contact me off the side. So letting go. Let me take a sip. Let me check the time here. And let's bring this down, because you understand what's going on in your life. You know what you're thinking about every single day, right? So why do we not want to live in hate? Well, because then we are living today in that world of hate. We don't want to perceive and project hate, anger, and fear and frustration out into the world, because believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, your frequency, your projection is projected out into light and sound. That light and sound that you are perceiving and projecting out into existence, into the universe, is creating a massive resonating field. It is a part of a resonating field, a big cosmic puzzle. And if you're resonating in fear, and that person is resonating in joy, and that person is resonating in fear, and that one is in greed and temptation, and so on and so forth, then this entire field is just chaotically resonating. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is resonating in a state of chaos. It is resonating in a frequency that is not harmonious. You've heard a choir sing before, right? You've heard, Om, right? We've heard that. Can you imagine hearing that with like 6 pitches that are out of key, like right? Can you imagine if that was Well, that's exactly what we're doing to the collective consciousness. That's what we're doing. We are making God the source, the resonating frequency that binds and creates existence, that gave you and I our individual awareness. The energy that created all there is long ago is resonating in that chaos. Because you and I are still perceiving and projecting that hate and fear because of our past memories. Our past memories. Events that there's nothing we can do about them today. That no conversation is ever going to bring you the closure you really want, because the only way to get closure is to look at that event and let it go with love. You love yourself back then for whatever that event was because of the hurt you experienced. But that hurt, that event gave you an awareness and an insight and an intuitive knowing that you have today that you would not have had if it wasn't for that experience. The person in the past who created this against you, hopefully at this point in their life, is understanding and has learned from that. And that's all we can ask. We have to forgive. You don't have to hang out with that person. You don't have to be friends with that person. You'll never forget. You'll never forget. It is embedded in your DNA, but you can let it go and not let it be a memory that you think about. You can consciously keep on reminding yourself when they pop into your head, nope, has no effect on my life today. It fades away. It has no effect on my life today. Say it with me. The hurt and pain I experienced in the past has no effect on my life today. The hurt and pain I have experienced and created in the past have no effect on my life today. The hurt and pain I experienced and created have no effect on my life today. And when you wake up tomorrow, it is a new day. You close your eyes at night. You completely shut down in sleep mode. Your higher awareness, your energy creates visuals, events, dreams, interactions for you to understand and have guidance and intuitive knowing in your path in life. When you wake up in the next day, you are waking up in a new day. Live for that day. And that's another reason why you want to let go. Why do we want to let go of the perspective we have heard and have shoved down our throats the greatest generation ever was? You know, my great-grandparents and grandparents who went out and fought in all these wars and everything and created and gave up their freedoms. Because if you think of, go look for in history, before those moments, how society was evolving. It was much more open, much freer, and then all of a sudden we got into this whole World War I, World War II, the greatest generation ever was, this massive industrial complex, and we never left it. And we went through the 40s and the 50s, the numb period, and my parents, had kids in the 60s, and here we are today. But, it's this time. We want to let go of that way, because that way of thinking, that lifestyle is what was destroying the planet. Destroying the planet. We know right now there are technologies available to us that are years ahead of what the public knows about. We know this. Aircraft is 50 years ahead. This technology, phones and computers, are at least 20 to 25 years ahead. And they purposely trickle it out to raise the economy. And if you think about it, if you really think about the bottom line, then that means the governments are allowing technological companies to actually withhold technologies that can advance our species, help save the planet, and help unite us and evolve as a species. But we're dumb to it and think, okay, well, let me work harder and just be patient and wait for the new thing. But we've got to let go of that. And I'm not telling you to get rid of your toys and get rid of the things in your house, but we can let go of that excessive pursuit for material abundance. When we die, we don't take any of it. If we really are that much of a monetary-based society, then live very comfortably within your means. Live very comfortably within your means. Don't live outside of your means. If you need to move to another state, get a job, then do it. There's nothing holding you anywhere. This is your planet. So let go of that whole perception that I need to be here because this is where my family is and my friends are. Go. If you feel it in your heart, if inside you, deep down inside, it's telling you, it's time to do this. It's time to move forward. It's time to move on. It's time to listen to what the guy on the screen is telling you to, then do yourself a favor and shut up and listen. We want to let go because the terraforming of the planet, the genocide against every single living species, the war, the enslavement of the human race, the monetary industrialized complex, that mindset has got to go. Has got to go. It's time that we let go of that way of life because right now, for the first time, without some big asteroid hitting us or a natural disaster, now pay attention, every single society before ours has fallen. Every single society before ours has fallen or has succumbed to a natural disaster. Putting that aside, it has fallen because of the rise of the people, the fall of the government, right? But right now, we are at a point where there are younger people who are getting into politics and starting to understand and embrace different things. The energy consumption, they're understanding all of these things that we have available to us. We are at a time right now where society does not have to fall, but society and the governments can shift. And we can be something new, and that is exactly what we're doing right now. And I'm 50 years old. I'm 50, I'll be 51 in February. I have been waiting since I'm 3 years old for this day. Now, right now, this month, December 2018. This is it. We change now. We go into 2019 with an entirely different mindset. We don't let toxic people create a toxic environment around us. We don't live in fear of anyone because there's nothing to fear. We perceive, we see and believe in our heart a world without borders, a world without war, a world without starvation. We see and perceive that before we see that world at our home with all this great technology and all these beautiful rings and cars and guns and all these other things. We must envision that world. If we can manifest and if we have these celestial abilities inside of us and we can do these here in the physical world and we can recreate our reality, then now is the time that we stand strong in our light and we say no more. Enough is enough. We let go. We let go. Tomorrow night, we are going to transcend the physical reality. You're always tethered to this. Understand that. You are always tethered to this reality until you leave this reality. Whether you celestial project, astral project, time travel, you are always going to be anchored to this reality, so don't ever be afraid of anything. Tomorrow, we are going to experience something beautiful. We are going to see visuals that are just unexplainable for an organic being that has lived and existed in our perception. And we are going to finally get to start to unite and understand that we don't have to hear spiritual teachings that are so complex and have all these words that we have to study for thousands of years or take courses and pay money to do this. We don't have to hear scientific teachings about our existence that are just like these riddles that are told to us that we have to sit down after we hear them and go, what did that person just mean? Everything can be explained in the most simplest forms, and we will get there. Nothing was made to be complicated, so let go of your concept of the human experience, because that concept of the human experience that we have perceived to be the human experience is what is being detrimental and distracting and delaying your life. You hate your job. You hate your job. Most people don't like their jobs because they're disconnecting their jobs from their spiritual purpose. And if you understand, if you can incorporate just a little bit of your higher awareness, your spirituality into your job, I don't care if you're pumping gas or you're building bridges, if you can understand that you're doing this with a spiritual purpose, you're not doing this for the money to destroy the land, you're doing this for the experience, you're doing this for your higher awareness, you're doing this for the support and love of your family. You bring spirituality into your path, you bring spirituality into your job and your work, and I promise you, you start to feel better. Being disconnected from your spiritual path is not what you let go of. And that is what most people have let go of since they're little children. Because religion has been so conflicting, so distorted, and that's because there's tiny bits of truth woven into manipulation throughout the pages. So we've got to really let go of our perception so we can project a different frequency out into there. No more hate, no more violence, no more aggression, no more judging with harshness and cruelty. If you're going to judge, if you're going to observe and project out with that observation, then let it be a judgment of sympathy and kindness and understanding for that other person, knowing that even if they sound screwed up, even if they're being mean and they're a jerk and they're an ass and all these things, you have to understand that somewhere inside is that being of light trying to either emerge or experiencing reality in the way that it chose to. Don't fight and second guess that voice inside. That silence inside. It's not even a voice. You have that knowing. We second guess and we self-doubt and we cast self-doubt on the voice, and then the voice casts self-doubt on the self, and the self gets, who the hell am I? Why am I here? How did I get here? What did I do? And all you need to do is quiet and be still. Tomorrow night we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to explain everything we're going to do tomorrow night. We're going to have a conversation and a meditative experience, right? But from now until then, let your heart be calm, calm, calm. If you notice you're starting to reflect on things of the past that angered you or hurt you, usually, start to see past that moment. That's the key of letting go. When you look back at your past, when you relive, when you time travel to these events and when you relive them, do not stop and disconnect at the moment of pain and go, nope, I can't think about it anymore. Push through the pain. See the discomfort. Be the darkness. Be the darkness. Be the hurt. Let the tears out. Feel the anger build up and then hold it and let it go. Surrender it with love. See past it. Understand that it wasn't your fault, or maybe it was something that you did. See the other person's life. See past the pain. See past that moment. You have to observe the entire event, not just the moment of hurt, not just the moment of temptation. Every single day, if you are waking up and you are still doing something that is that you want to stop, whether it's cigarette smoking or pornography or gambling, drug addiction, you wake up and you stop. You stop. When you see it in front of you, you turn around and you stop and you find something positive to do to fill that hole. If it becomes so painful, then you go and do it. But you grow that space between each time and you let it go slowly but surely. And you have to understand that that right there is the natural path. You can't rush it. You have to understand if you're slowly but surely giving something up or incorporating something new in your life, don't be in a rush. Let it all unfold before you naturally. regardless of whatever you believe or whatever you think is going on around you. This is all a illusion, a simulation, a creation, a creation. You somewhere are a single point of energy. Every single thing that you see, hear, taste, and touch is moving around and through and above and below you. You are experiencing this entire reality happen, interweaving with it. Let it happen. Don't go against it with resistance. Let life unfold before you and wake up tomorrow with love, joy, excitement, and gratitude be what you wake up with. And every single day when you wake up and every single night when you go to sleep, say thank you. Don't think about everything else. Just say thank you. Okay? Tomorrow, calm heart all day. Avoid aggression tomorrow. Avoid excessive social media. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. So many people email me and they say, what time is that in Zimbabwe? What time is that in New Zealand? What time is that? Google, because that's what I do. I Google what it is. So Google, look it up, please. I don't know what time it is in your country. Right? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York. So you can say, what is the current time in New York for your country? It'll tell you, and you do the math in your head. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be right here doing an intense, beautiful meditation, And before we part ways tonight, I just want to say thank you. I put a post up the other day letting everybody know that I have a Sunday email group. Every Sunday I email out, well, I was and I stopped and now I'm starting it again. I email out a little email of insight, guidance, hello, just a nice email every Sunday. And I also, just like tonight, Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sunday mornings at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be live every single week. Our Wednesday wisdoms and our Sunday morning service or our Sunday morning sessions. We'll have those every week, and tomorrow night is a special event. I do have a calendar on my site. But before we go, I wanted to say something, and this is not a sales pitch. I really, truly appreciate everybody who has signed up for the Sunday email group. I have emailed everyone who signed up a free copy of my ebook. It's still a proofing copy. I'm still going through it and re-editing and working it and stuff like that. But I wanted to say something. I do have a book on Amazon. It's called The Book of New Light. It's got about 55 to 60 questions that I channeled with the source, with God, with the all-knowing source of all light of life. I sat down, asked the questions, and wrote it out, and I wrote a book, right? This is the book right here. I have about 25 copies of the book in my house, and what I'm trying to do right now is raise money to bring in more healing instruments and stuff. Things like that, right? My monochord, I want to bring in some glass bowls, Tibetan bowls, and things like that, so we can really start having amazing experiences. So what I'm doing is I have about 25 copies of the book in my house. I'm taking, in the front of the book, there is a full blank page, and in the back, there is a full blank page. I'm going to sit down at my desk with all of these books over a couple of days, and I'm going to channel. And I'm just going to randomly write in the books. It might be in the front page. It might be in the back page. Whatever it really feels like this book needs. I'm going to take them and put them in an envelope. I'm going to close the envelope. And they're going to go off randomly. And I guarantee you, the people who receive them, the message that's in the book is a message for them. What I'm going to do to raise money is my book. You can buy this on Amazon right now for $10. I'm not going to lie to you. For $10, you'll get a copy of the book with the custom bookmark for $10. These, with me signing it and channeling and writing a message in it, are going to be $20. I have 25 of them, and I'm doing this to bring money back into my cause, right? The Institute of Celestial Learning. so we can have different interactions and expand on this. If you are, I'm going to make a post on Instagram about this and stuff like that on my Facebook group and on YouTube. I'm going to make a post about this if it gets that far. If you are one of the people who want a copy, it's $20 shipping. It doesn't matter, free shipping, right? It's free shipping. So it doesn't matter where you live. I don't care if you live in New Zealand, if you live in Sri Lanka, free shipping. Right, so $20. If you want one, you private message me on Instagram. You say, okay, Jay, give me one of those books. I will channel it up. I will write in it. I will fill them all out, and I will mail them all out, and you'll get one. And if anybody's just like curious, like what kind of stuff is in there, we don't need to talk about artificial intelligence right now because that's in there. Let's see if I can just find something that really just seems. Is there hope for humanity? The current state, the question is there hope for humanity? The answer, the current state of the human experience does not project or produce one of hope. What you call humanity is barbaric and cruel, full of mayhem and chaos. Even those who are embracing their light are having a hard time existing within this reality. The question next is, but there are so many people who believe humanity can change. It is a word that is poured from mouths effortlessly and without thought. Your concept of humanity is lost as the life you all embrace is a contradiction of the truth created by evil. If you truly believe the mass enslavement of death of animals is a rightful part of humanity, then there is no hope. If you truly believe you are here to create material waste, throwing it into the land, sea, and air without care, concern, then there is no hope. If you truly believe the act of war is justifiable or hurting another is accessible, then you are without hope. You corrupt and brainwash the minds of your children into following and worshiping these ways of destruction. And I'll stop right there. So everybody asks, how are we going to live in the new light? What is the original way that God intended us to live on this planet? Right here. Right there. This is book 1, and I'm about to start book 2. And like I said, I've got 25 copies. If anybody wants one, contact me. What time is it? So what I'd like to do with you right now, before we go, we've got about 5 minutes, is let's lower the lights down just a little bit. Okay? We talked a lot about letting go. This is going to be available on Instagram for 24 hours. In a few days, I'll have a version of it up on my website that'll be a little edited and stuff like that. But right now, before we go, let's just for 2 minutes, not even a meditation or anything, just take a few breaths together. Let's just perceive and project a world that is kinder, calmer, cleaner, more unified with love, and a world that truly does perceive and project unity amongst each other. We don't have to get along, we don't have to agree with each other, but we can coexist because we can allow each other the freedom to be each other. We can allow each other the freedom to be each other. If we simply follow rules of expressing kindness and compassion and freedom and equality for all, then the world can change. If we can be that change in ourselves, then the world around us will change. So do me a favor, just close your eyes. Just relax for a moment. If you're itchy, itch. If you have to adjust, adjust. Get comfortable for a moment. And seriously, just right now, relax your shoulders, let them sink down. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. Let your cheeks relax. Your nose, your eyes, your lips. Relax your tongue. And slightly relax your neck. Just breathe in completely comfortably. No forcing. If you can do so through your nose, breathe in through your nose. If it has to be through your mouth, breathe in. When you're breathing in, I want you to think about what you're breathing in. You're breathing in oxygen, but it's light. It truly is light. It's just an assembly of atoms, photons that create the element that we call oxygen. So when you're breathing that in, realize that the energy field you're creating around you is now one of love, one of light, one of unity and compassion, and breathe that energy field in. Hold that love. Let it resonate in that silent space between your breath, because that's who we are. Sit there for a moment and let it out with love. Realize you are breathing in the force that we call life and breathing out the force that we call life, and how we breathe it in and how we breathe it out, how we perceive it and how we project it is creating the world around me. So one more time, breathe in those photons of love. Breathe them out. There's no strain. You're not holding your breath. You are just resonating. Breathe in. Resonate. Relax. Let your thoughts come back. Snap into it. We're on Instagram. We're talking. Slowly open up your eyes. Everyone, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. God bless. Namaste. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.